to another Digital Den mini class. Throughout the month of October, we will be talking about Photoshop and combining Photoshop with Halloween to be able to make some spooky photos. We will be learning about how to remove the green screen from the background of our image and replacing it with a spooky picture. But what if we don't have a green screen? Well, no worries. I'm gonna show you how to remove a background like this from your picture as well to be able to make it so that you can make spooky pictures for the Halloween season no matter where you are. All right, so here we are in Photoshop, and we are going to be using this exclusively to be able to remove the background from some pictures that I took in the locations that I showed earlier, and then replace them with a spooky image. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to open up our images here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up both of these. And I tried to take them and, like I posed in very dramatic ways. Like in this one, I'm running away from something, and this one, I'm just afraid of something, right? This, I wanted to do it in two different locations to show the difference between a green screen and another environment. But interestingly, Photoshop has really advanced over the years, and the way that you used to remove backgrounds is so much different than the way that I do it anymore, because I used to always try to do it in front of a solid colored surface, and then I would come in with the magic wand tool, and then I would highlight all of the color and then remove it that way, and basically just come in and remove all of the colors that I wanted to get rid of. And then there you go. I've removed all of the color from the background, and I'm ready to put myself into another situation, assuming that I crop the image to, get rid of all of the excess, right? So that is the way that I would always do it in the past. And that's pretty quick, right? But nowadays, I actually do something that is significantly faster. And that is to actually use something that is called quick actions, okay? So the first thing that you have to do is you have to make sure that down here in the bottom right-hand corner that you do not have a locked layer. So you can just double click that and you're good to go. You are unlocked now. Now over here on the right hand side under properties, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see quick actions. And the first thing that pops up is remove background. So all I have to do is click that, and boom, there you go. The whole background has been removed. And notably, even my feet have been taken out of it as well, so I can include the entirety of myself instead of just what was in front of the green screen, right? Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, being in front of a green screen, that's pretty easy to be able to remove, as I demonstrated earlier with just the magic wand tool. Well, switching over to this, let's go ahead and see in just a normal background how I would remove it. And notably, my pants are a similar color to this cart right behind me. So I wonder how that is going to affect removing the background using these quick actions. So it looks like it did almost as well. Not quite, but almost there. Like if you take a look down here in the bottom, we can still see some of this. I think it cut out a little bit of my pants here. But still pretty darn good, I've got to say, to be able to remove the background on this. And the nice thing about it, if you look over here on the right-hand side in the layer panel, it did it using a mask, which is non-destructive, meaning that the original image has not been damaged in any way, has not been actually edited. We were just putting something on top of it that makes it look like nothing in the background is there, okay? And the nice thing about a mask is that I can use that to be able to paint out and back in some of the original image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here on the left-hand side, and I'm going to use the brush tool. Okay, down here in the bottom left of the column of tools here, you'll notice that I've got white and black as my two options there. Those are the two colors that I want to use because those are the colors that will paint in or out the things, basically adding or using the eraser tool. So as you can see here, just using white, I'm painting in the original stuff that was in the background. Okay, I'm going to undo that. And then I'm going to switch over to black. And you can see now I'm removing stuff that I don't want. Okay, so doing that, I'm going to go ahead and just zoom in and I'm going to paint out the excess stuff that's down here. And the nice thing is that I don't need to get this 100% perfect because there's other things that are going to be the focus of the image here. Okay. Didn't really do a great job with my pants because of the color there. It did a pretty decent job. But again, coming in and feathering this a bit more, kind of editing it a little bit to be able to remove some of that excess would be good. Okay. And then I could continue to edit that a bit more. And that's basically it. I mean, that's how I typically do it. Quick actions are amazing. If you have not seen quick actions before, it is available on the most recent version of Photoshop. And of course, you can use that here for free at the Digital Den. If you can't find it, it could just be that your window, your workspace is not the one where it will appear. Like if you're using painting, for example, it's not going to be over here on the right. Properties won't be there. But you can always find it under help as well. You can click on like Photoshop help, I think is what it is. And quick actions will appear down here. So that's another way to be able to find it. So if you prefer using a different window space there. So real quickly, I will briefly cover some of the other tools here if you're not super familiar with Photoshop, so that you can try this on your own and and continue the process of putting yourself into another image, because we still need to find a spooky background and then add some props and stuff to be able to really bring this image to life, right? So some of the other tools you might use, this is the move tool. This will allow for me to be able to move the layer around my project space. So, if the scary thing is over here, I can kind of put myself wherever. This is the selection tool. This will allow for me to be able to highlight certain areas of my layer that I can then, use to like copy and paste. And interestingly, I use the copy paste shortcut keys, Control C and Control V, and I just copied the mask instead of the background there. So I can do the same thing. If I click on the image instead of the mask, then I can copy and paste myself that way. So you can kind of mess around a lot with the masks, and it kind of is pretty interesting. Ooh, that's weird seeing two of me. Anyway. The magic wand tool I demonstrated, it essentially quick selects things based on their color. The crop tool I demonstrated earlier, of course, you're probably familiar with general cropping. This is the eyedropper tool, which will grab any individual color and add it into the bottom left corner here. Paintbrush tool I demonstrated earlier in the way of using it for masks, but of course you can also use it for general painting of a variety of things. Eraser tool to be able to erase stuff. And we will be adding some text as well using the text tool here as well. So, and we may be talking about a couple more of these as we get further into this series, but I recommend that if you have access to Photoshop, that you give it a try. It's a really intuitive thing. The quick actions is really cool. And I didn't even go over all of the different quick actions that are available. And so if you click on view more under the quick actions, there are a lot of things that you can do with it. So yeah, again, mess around with it and, and see what kind of cool things that you can come up with pretty quickly using those. And then in the next video, we will be adding that spooky background and adding some props to that to be able to really bring our image to life as we get closer and closer to Halloween. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next Digital Den mini class.